Hey guys, I'm GoVRGoHome. I'd like to welcome you back to my layout for another product review. This time we've got Walthers train line GP9M. And this one here we have is of course in the Ontario Northland paint scheme, number 1600. So we're just going to go over a few things, try it out on the module, and see how she works. Stay tuned. Okay, so here we can see we have the classic Walthers train line box that it does come in. Kind of lame for me to talk about the box, but I mean the packaging is important too, right? You got to remember that they're getting shipped all over the place from the factory, sometimes even from China to Canada or to the States, wherever you might be. So you want to make sure that it's packaged really well so that nothing breaks when it's being transported. So we're going to go ahead, we're going to open it up. It's just, you got your foam insert. Got a couple of information sheets. Thank you for, buying from Walthers. And all my subscribers know that I'm a big fan of Walthers and the products that they put out, whether it be their buildings or their locomotives and rolling stock. Then there's a chart here. It shows you where you need to oil the actual locomotive, removing the wheel set there, and then putting the grease in with the gears. It already comes ready to go, so no need for me to grease it up or whatever. So there's no extra parts. Usually they have extra parts in here, like a plow or some extra grab irons or something. Everything is good to go with this locomotive. So I'm just going to pop it out here. It's wrapped in plastic. I'm going to be very careful because there are, I don't know how touchy these handrails are. Sorry if my hands are getting in the way. Okay, so here, take a look at the locomotive. So as you can see, it looks very nice with the crisp paint scheme for the Ontario Northland. It's not too old of a run. It's one of their last runs that they had. Earliest being the green, and then this one here. And they have a couple of newer paint schemes now that it's pushing 2017. They just came out with another one. So for this one here, I looked at a couple of proto pictures to see how accurately it would measure up. There's supposed to be a bell right here with a single horn. Here they have the two horns and there's no bell. So right off the bat, that kind of sucks, but what can you do? Another thing is the Canadian standards now requires ditch lights on all locomotives. There's no ditch lights on this. There is the lights up here, the marker lights, but that's it. The number boards do not light up, but they have the 1600 in there. There's probably a light in the cab. I'll have to wait and light it up in order to be able to see that. And there is supposed to be a rear light, but I didn't see any information on that. For some reason, the numbers are down here, but up here is where the number's supposed to be. That's where the, as you can see there. So I don't know why they would do that. I think they should have just put the number up in the little box there. Otherwise, it just doesn't make sense. So Walthers, I don't know what you're doing, but whatever. I guess you get what you pay for. With something like this here, American pricing is about $65. Canadian, obviously I got it shipped in to Canada, and paying the Canadian dollar, I paid just over $100 for the locomotive. So I mean, besides a few things that prototypical wise, I'm not a huge stickler for that, where some others might be. Definitely will upgrade it in a couple of ways here. including the fact that it is only a DC locomotive. I will need to add DCC to it for it to match up with the rest of my locomotives. But let's take a closer look at what we've got here. Okay, so taking a look at the front of the locomotive, you got your grab irons here, okay, and you got a little chain, and they're very soft plastic, so I'd probably be careful. You got the interior Northland chevrons, no ditch lights, as I was saying, a little walk bar there, metal couplers. We got the number boards up here, number 1600. They do not light up. Kind of sad. Either way, taking a look down the side. Now their trucks are really nice. They do have a fair amount of detail to them. I don't know if I can keep that steady. And they are nice trucks, so I'll give them that. All the hatches there. The Ontario symbol. And rail service. This is a standardized switcher for Ontario Northland, so I would probably be using it accordingly to switch out stuff on my layout, whether I use it with one of my industries, or just in the yard. So then we've got the giant Ontario Northland with the giant chevrons down the side, walkway with just the handrail going down the side, all the same color. And taking a look at the back, like I said, there's no grab irons going down the back here, but they can be added. Got your reverse lights there. I'm not sure if they're a different color or if they even work yet. We'll find out. 1600, obviously the classification, or the what you call it, the number of the locomotive. Got your handrails again, the walkway and coupler, and same thing going down the side here. Ontario Northland. Obviously you got your gas tank there. Cool stuff. And on the top you've got a series of fans, the two horns, one pointing forward, one pointing back. No lift rings or anything like that. Nothing too fancy because it's just a standard locomotive. Taking a look on the Walthers website, it shows that this locomotive is actually available in many different road names, such as CN, chassis system, Conrail for Sparky, of course, and Burlington Northern, CP, I'm pretty sure. There was like a couple of CPs, there was a couple of CNs, different paint schemes, of course. So there's a little bit of something for everybody here with these GP9s. They definitely didn't skimp out on the road names, where some of them, you might get, let's say this locomotive comes out in just the one paint scheme and you're like, oh, why didn't they release it on mine? This year, I'm pretty sure they covered all of them, or almost all of them anyways, most of the major ones. Which is weird because Ontario Northland isn't a major one, but they managed to squeeze that one in there, which I'm thankful for because it's the only, one of the only ones that I do that ships freight. So thank goodness for that. But that's the overview for the actual look of it. Let's put this thing on the track, power it up, and see how she flies. Okay, so I've got the locomotive, the GP9, on the tracks here, and because it is DC and I'm using a DCC system, you're going to hear that awful noise once I power it up. That's about the only noise you're going to hear. So we're just going to get it to go forward. Now this is fresh out of the box. It's kind of stuttery, but it's probably because the gears haven't been worked in. And that's almost at the, because I use a Digitrax system, basically like this. So I was at the number 2 there, you can see, and it was just kind of like skipping along. I'll do that going back. It's a little bit smoother in reverse, but it's still a little... Yeah. Let's try going forward again. I'm sure, like I said, once I work it in a bit, should be fine. It's just the slow speed is not the greatest on it. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, that basically wraps things up. Just a couple of final thoughts about the locomotive for you guys if you're considering on purchasing one of these from Walthers. It's a good locomotive. It doesn't have all the bells and whistles that some of the competitors might have. All the grab irons and the exact specs. If you're looking for, you know, the very prototypical, you know, piece by piece, this one just isn't cutting it. But for me, I don't care. It's a great locomotive. It has an awesome road name right on the side. It makes me happy. And, you know, the paint, really well done. I paid twice as much for a locomotive, and paint was flaking off, or chipped off, and damaged when shipped. So, for this thing to be in one piece, I'm pretty happy. Again, you're getting what you're paying for. Cost me about $100. It might cost you less or more depending on where you get it from. You know, if you're in the States, you can just order from Walthers.com directly, but I'm sure most other train shops or hobby shops that carry trains will have it as well, or they'll be able to order it in for you, just like mine out here in Ottawa did. So, other than that, I give it about a 5, 6 out of 10, 6 out of 10, being generous. The other paint schemes are pretty cool, like I said. So if you're looking to pick one up for yourself, or maybe for a friend, maybe for the holiday season, 'tis the season to give trains, right? They kind of go hand in hand, Christmas, trains. Well, for me anyways, I can make it work. Trains can go with anything. Any special occasion, you name it, I'll make it happen. But, you know, till next time, I've got a train to catch. Go via or go home. Thanks for stopping by for another one of my reviews. I'll see you soon.